So this is like real hard-hitting journalism. Going over to people that don't like you and recording the insults they throw at you.
It's not been accepted with the Press Association. It's not press and I want them out.
They were recognised as a TRA and they were like, you shouldn't be over there. It's not the right protest. It's going to cause a disturbance, much like if it happened the other way round.
They're here antagonising us.
Let me just claiming me right now.
You're not being hate crimed and you're not female. It's very suspicious that this person isn't just posting the evidence themselves. You're having to find it from like turf accounts.
And if they're asked to step back, they should.
So why isn't it the same for you? What is this Peter Pan syndrome shit?
Sorry, that's just anti-trans.
Sophie Molly was at a protest, apparently. But yeah, Sophie is technically a journalist, which is terrifying because they're really stupid. But they're a journalist. They went to a transphobic rally, apparently. So we're going to see the other side from like those like auditor types that go to TRA protests and tell them that they smell. Like watch a bunch of TRAs get arrested, but then cry about two-tier because another policeman told them to like move back a bit or something like that. Like, you know, English Ned and people like that, utter losers. I have about as much time for people like that as I do for people like Sophie and Heather. But hey, let's see.
So what are we talking about this week then, Sophie?
Protesting and more protesting.
Protesting and more protesting.
Demos. There was a 199 days later protest across the UK this weekend, based in Holyrood Parliament, the Welsh Assembly Parliament, and Westminster. And there was protests held outside or near these locations by TERFs, by gender critical transphobes.
The demonstrations were based on, it's been this long since the Equality Act clarification. There's still all these problems, etc., etc. So then you had the counter demonstrations. I didn't watch it on stream, it was on my own time. I watched MKR audits and English Ned and Steve and all those people hanging around. Hopefully there'll be videos, because I know Montgomery Toms was there as well, and I love me a bit of Montgomery Toms. Very entertaining individual, if nothing else. And some of those people are just as ridiculous as these people, to be clear. What was it one of them was saying? Oh, these TRAs, they want communism, Marxism, and socialism all at the same time. Like what? Communism and socialism are both Marxism. And socialism is like the in-between state towards communism. So why not just say they want communism? I don't get it.
And they're very upset.
And you went along?
Yes, we'll come to that part. They were very upset. They were very upset because obviously they want this code of practice put in place to exclude trans people from single-sex spaces.
Would that be the withdrawn EHRC guidance code of practice?
Yeah, they want, because the interim guidance got up.
Would that be the?
This is a bit disappointing. Are we not going to get any of the live audio? Is it going to be them talking over it the entire time?
Drawn guidance that went to the Secretary of State for Women and Equality, who is now sitting on it because it's going to really mess up business.
Yeah. So what happened is after the Supreme Court ruling, they issued interim guidance, which replaces the previous guidance they had around, I think, 2011. But this was just an interim guidance, a stopgap measure. And basically it was deemed to be very transphobic.
Deemed to be very transphobic. It wasn't transphobic though, was it?
And I don't know if it was because of pressure, but they withdrew it about a month ago.
It's actually legal pressure because the Good Luck Project is taken to court.
Yeah.
I think the only people that viewed it as transphobic.
Yeah, the Good Law Project are taking them to the ECHR. I doubt that's going to go anywhere though. At that point, you're pitting trans rights against women's rights. I feel like whenever you do that, whichever the one that isn't trans rights is probably going to win, because the other one probably pertains to way more people and pertains to a way more, objective characteristic of someone, that being their sex, not their gender identity, which is not objective, it's subjective.
Were the ones that read it.
Yes.
Yeah, so what happened is that it got withdrawn, and now the EHRC are demanding, pushing, pressuring the government to lay the code of practice, which is just...
Well, yeah, they're pushing for it to be done because at the moment the current standards are like unlawful. They don't reflect the clarification. So yeah, of course they're pushing for it. These people pretend it's some like transphobic, like, you know, initiative. When no, they just want us to follow the law.
Sort of the final version of the update of the 2011 version in front of Parliament. They gave it to the Women's and Equality Minister about probably over a month ago now, and she's still not laid it before Parliament. So they're up in arms, and of course all their TERF supporters of the EHRC, because we know it's institutionally captured by them, have been
okay, sure, bro, whatever.
Sort of going nuts, posting articles and rallying their troops to protest outside the parliaments in the UK. And so they had these big rallies, but trans people organised their own demos to coincide with theirs. And I went along to...
So which rally did you go to?
I went along to the ones at Holyrood in Edinburgh.
No. Were you in the protest? Did you go and attend the protest or the counter-protest?
I attended both because that's what I do.
This is Sophie's secrets he's actually
No, I'm actually...
Oh, so he'll be outside the women's one right now, and that's why the police are like blocking them off. I'm surprised. The one in London, the TRA group were pushed far away from like the women's march. And to be honest, I think that's probably a good thing, because what happens is usually these trans protests, they try and surround the women, or they make so much noise that you can't hear what any of them are saying, which is basically censorship. Probably not something that the average person should just have the power to do, or one group should be able to just do to another. So I'm surprised the police weren't keeping them more separate. I mean, I guess maybe all these are like pretend journalists as well. Technically, Sophie is an actual journalist, but that's, you know, I try not to think about that.
Actually, a journalist. Journalism.
Why are you doing that?
Like, they're not a journalist. They're someone that pushes their opinion and uses a journalistic outlet as some kind of authority. Like, because I'm writing for a news outlet, that means that my opinion has some weight. But this person's opinion has no weight because they're stupid.
Oh, because that's what we do when we say journalism. But no, journalism...
Like, really, people this ideological on either side probably have no business being a journalist. Because you're not a journalist, you're a pundit, really.
is what I do, and TERFs were like, oh no, Sophie's an imposter, she's not a journalist, she's an activist. But no, I
had press credentials on.
Yes, I attended this protest, the two protests.
Because you are still an activist. You've just hoodwinked someone into giving you those credentials, so you can say you're a journalist. But you are still an activist. And as such, you probably should have been kept separate from the Women's March and just kept with the rest of the trans activists. And if it was a gender critical activist or a fucking auditor or some shit, they probably should have been treated the same. Yeah, you might have some kind of journalistic credentials. You're still an activist. You still belong on one side and not the other.
In the capacity of a journalist, a professional capacity. So I turned up there as a professional. First I went to, and my partner accompanied me for support.
I really wish that there was some like live footage. The fact they have to talk over this so much makes it very untrustworthy because you can't actually hear anything that anyone's saying. So for all we know, what they're actually saying went on. We can't actually verify. They could have been saying any old shit.
And safety, and as a witness.
And filming the entire thing.
Yeah, to witness what was happening. So I went along, I was very professional conduct, went along to...
Yeah, do we believe them? How do I know? I can't hear a word you're saying in the video. Is there a copy of it? Like, the thing about this kind of shit is, well, you post the original as well. What the fuck is this? The 7 levels of transphobia. I bet this is ridiculous. J.K. Rowling is only level 2 transphobia. Wow. Yeah, here's the thing. If you're going to sum all this up, then you put the original somewhere as well. So people can just watch it and, yeah, okay, what they're saying is actually true because I've verified it. But you can't do that.
To introduce myself to the trans side, the trans demo there, which was actually quite far away from the TERF demo.
Okay, they did do it like this. Well, good. This is what happens. Years of like terrible behavior, years of like censoring other groups because they don't agree with you. So you get separated. Like, that's fair enough.
And this was strategically done so that we could have our own peaceful demo away from they could have their own peaceful demo away from the TERF gender critical demo, which was directly
Our own peaceful demo. Yeah, wow. You can just shout random shit in a microphone further away from them.
outside the parliament, whereas the trans one was further away over into the Hollywood Gardens themselves, into sort of grassy area. And so, but still close to Parliament. So basically there was about maybe like 200 yards or more between the two protests. And so after going and talking to the trans protest, I then went across to the TERF protest. And when I was going over there with my partner, we were accosted by another journalist who started shouting at me.
Was there any evidence you were actually a journalist?
Yeah.
Again, like, why not show the footage? If this happened, show the footage, right? You're accosted by another journalist. Potentially that's not cool, but like, what happened?
Police liaison officers to try and remove me and my partner, and basically their justification.
So we don't get any. Where's this footage? How do I trust a thing this person says when you can't hear a word anyone's saying? They accosted you. What did they say? What did they do?
Was that my presence was causing a lot of tension.
I mean, it probably was, because you're like going up to the other protest. It'd be the same if any TERFs went over to the trans protest. You said it yourself. You had your own protest away from them so you could have your own peaceful protest. TERFs start approaching you, then that's going to disturb that peace somewhat, no?
It was literally their words. Just because me and my partner were...
There is footage. Is any of it from this person? Twitter. This is not very trustworthy. If someone went over and was genuinely giving them shit, then fair enough. But then just show that. Like, the idea would be, well, if the footage is that bad, like you say it is, then you show it. Why talk over it the whole time? I can't hear what they're saying. Like, they might just being accused of going over there to agitate, which is probably fair enough. Like, I can see why anyone would think you were going over there to agitate. Oh, they're pushing wealth tax stuff. They've been watching Gary's Economics, I guess. Wealth taxes solve everything. Don't worry about the rather huge lack of money that they would actually bring in.
Okay. No, but... Okay to ask you just to stand. Okay.
I can't even hear what anyone's saying.
No, but... Okay to ask you just to stand. Okay.
Yeah, what I can imagine is they're like, oh, I'm just a journalist. I can be over here. And they're like, no, you're a trans activist. You shouldn't be over here. Wow, amazing. I'm not seeing almost any footage from this. Yeah, Meek in real life. Yeah, they all are. There's almost no evidence of anything. It's like, what actually happened? Like, most of this is just reposting like Green Party shit. The Green Party is a joke. I'm sorry about it. They have a lot of membership. Didn't really work out hugely well for Jeremy Corbyn. Didn't actually work out super well for Reform in the last election. They had a huge surge in memberships and they still won like 4 seats or some shit. Probably be different next election, but still. And the thing is, if they're not posting much of their own shit and it's other people posting about it, yeah, like I was saying, it's very suspicious that this person isn't just posting the evidence themselves. You're having to find it from like TERF accounts. That suggests by itself that this was not quite how they're viewing it. And they're saying, they can say that they're a journalist, so they can say this, and I guess it's true. But people know who this person is, and people know that it's going to cause a disturbance. So someone probably would tell them not to come over. That's probably fair enough, but let's see.
We don't want to cause tension with these guys.
Yes, first of all, you don't want to cause tension. That's exactly the problem, because this person is going to.
Would that be okay? Could I ask you to do that?
November 2022. And in March
Would it be okay if you stand back, because it is going to cause you a bit of tension with the crowd here? You can probably sense it.
These men are not wanted here.
Okay. Could you speak to me at least and engage with me? Would that be okay?
Please move from this area.
Yeah, so how reasonable is this? Just ignoring them and just like writing notes and shit.
Oh, Fallon, so it's okay, Jack. It's causing it, as you can probably sense, it's causing a lot of tension. Could you talk to me at least and engage with me? You don't want to talk to me at all? Yourself, you want to talk to me? Or?
Well, he's not press.
Okay. Sorry?
He's not press.
Can I ask then?
Wait, is that the partner? Hang on.
He's not press.
Could I ask then what press service you're with?
He was asking for a press pass
Online. It's a fake press pass. He has not been accepted with the Press Association. He's not press and I want them out.
Does someone have to? Yeah, it is. It is the partner. Okay. So the fat one is the one next to him who is not a journalist and is like filming everyone. Like, yeah, they are kind of here to cause a disturbance. Or if they're not, they're recognizable as activists. So you can see why they would. It'd be like if fucking J.K. Rowling went over to the fucking trans one. That'd cause a disturbance.
Film if you like. I want you out.
I don't have the power to physically move him, unfortunately, okay?
I see. So if we went over to theirs, we'd get physically removed from there.
It depends exactly what's
This is what they do. They don't give women respect or even a voice to speak. Typical narcissistic males.
The moment I can't physically move people, we have to try and...
Well, I want them out.
I know. Let me just...
Timing me right now. Calling me a male. Timing me.
I'm female and she's hate crime by calling me a male. That's not a hate crime, bro. You're not being hate crimed and you're not female.
Right. Calling me a male. That's a hate crime.
That's not a hate crime. You're a retard.
Okay, well, let's...
You are a male.
No, well, let's not antagonise people. We don't need to...
They're antagonising us by being in our
We're trying to
space.
resolve it. I understand that.
So, no, don't be nice.
No, well, we're trying to... Thank you.
Out.
Yeah, he literally brought his fucking fat partner as like backup, as like a bodyguard, like shoving his camera in people's faces. This is like mirror image of like the shit those dipshit fucking auditors do. The other way round. But they're literally recording. Why haven't they posted any of this themselves? Because it doesn't really stack up with what they're saying. They're acting as if all this is like unreasonable. When you would expect this kind of thing if a TERF journalist came up to you in your protest and started doing the same shit.
You're a man. Good.
Excuse me.
They're a men. They're men.
There's no need to antagonise or upset them.
Oh, they're here antagonising us. I don't care about being nice. Resolve it with them.
Yes, come on.
Why are they in here? Why do you think they are in here? Why do you think they're in
They're trying to be
here?
antagonists.
They're in here to antagonise
Don't
us.
rise to that, though.
Really?
Yes.
I've been insulted by that.
Well, listen.
To be honest, she's kind of going on. They have moved them a certain amount. There is only so much the police can do. I feel like on both sides, they tend to be very kind of short with the police and like, you know, it's always biased against them and stuff. I don't think that's really helpful. They seem to have been moved a fair amount back by now.
Let's just try and
I've been
take
punched
the
in the
temperature.
face.
Well, that's not good, is it?
No, and you wonder why I'm angry.
I know.
Get them
Let's try and
out.
take the temperature. Well, we are trying to do that. But let's not insult them or be unkind. Insult people.
Oh, away with this unkind carry on. They're men, and I will call them as I see fit. I speak the truth.
At the same time, you can't do anything about someone like that. If they want to call these people men, they can do that. That's fair enough. It's probably not helping the situation. They might be more likely to stick around because you get in an argument or some shit. But hey.
Men!
Okay, you're just determined
I don't care.
Well,
I don't care. They're here.
That's unfair.
They are here.
I don't think that's...
They are here to antagonise us.
So we're trying to resolve that.
They break our boundaries, they get into our spaces. They're absolutely vile. They're men. The truth will out. They are men.
Unbelievable.
That's disgusting. But I have to be kind.
They're still not moving.
I have to be kind. Let's be kind to Sophie. Sparkles, eh? No, and he's...
To be honest, I'll say one other thing. Does it really matter if some trans retard is there making notes at your speech? Like, you must believe in what is being said, so I don't know. It's the same kind of shit that I saw with that trans protest, with that retard fucking auditor. And like, it was like just filming the protest and they start blocking the camera. It's like, well, what are you blocking? Like, don't you just want them to get footage of like just people doing a protest and it be like boring as fuck? Like, you're kind of giving them the ammunition when you start reacting to them this way, I would say.
His big hunking boyfriend.
Okay, so that's what happened. They weren't happy with them being there because they recognized them as activists. Would have been the same the other way around.
My partner trying to goad a reaction out of us. We just ignored him and
Yeah, they saw you as doing the same thing. Doesn't mean that that's what they were there doing, but, you know, what people mean and what people interpret are often very different. There's so much water under the bridge between these two groups. Like, any of your presence around their shit, you can see why it will be taken as hostility. And it's the same the other way around.
too. So, yeah, so he was antagonizing myself and my partner.
Is there any evidence he was actually a journalist?
Yes, because he's
Oh, we're talking about a male journalist. I don't know if that was the person filming. Or if it was someone else. Hang on. Women weren't wished. I'm not sure. It's possible. There's some context missing. And for God knows what reason, they don't seem to have supplied any.
He's online as a journalist, but I didn't see any like badges or that on the person. So yeah, that comes into question too. So yeah, so he was antagonizing myself and my partner, trying to goad a reaction out of us. We just ignored him and kept on walking over to the turf protest. So we went into the middle of the turf protest. Some TERFs recognised me and started yelling, "It's Sophie."
Yeah, they think you're there to start shit. Is that not a reasonable belief?
"Molly, just a man, blah, blah, blah." And this went on
Yeah, they weren't going to be saying she's a man, but okay.
and on and on. Then they got the police liaison officers over to try and remove me and my partner. And basically their justification was that my presence was causing a lot of tension.
Okay, so now we're seeing, whatever the fat one's name is, their perspective.
That was literally their words. Just because me and my partner were there recording in a journalistic capacity, well, I'm in a journalistic capacity, my partner was sort of acting as security on my behalf, and
Security is a strong word. More verifying that. More stopping. More witnessing. Yeah.
Yeah, you were
stopping
witnessing.
them doing anything to you.
Yeah, and so they all crowded
Which they didn't do anything to you, they just shouted some shit. Would have been the same the other way around.
round. A lot of journalists crowded round with their cameras.
Self-identified journalist.
Yeah, the police, maybe some of them. Well, that's what they call me, a self-identified journalist, because that's an extension of the transphobia of self-identified man. So
No, they just don't believe you're a real journalist, and I can't be surprised if someone wouldn't, to be honest. They are incorrect. Technically, he is a journalist.
they spent ages screaming, like, and hurling. One of the funny abusive insults at me, and one of the funny one was a TERF, and I quoted it in my pad. They said, his glasses, so it's his, because they think I'm a man, his glasses are absolutely vile. And I recorded that down, and I just thought it was quite funny. So there I
Wow. So this is like real hard-hitting journalism. Going over to people that don't like you and recording the insults they throw at you. Amazing. Amazing stuff, Ewan.
am finding that amusing.
That's going to be that's going to be in the thumbnail.
Thank you. And these glasses, I think, are quite sexy. And what do you think?
I think they were alright. Yeah, quite like them.
Sexy. Oh, thank you. Sexy specs. So yeah, that's basically the gist of what happened. And would you like to add in?
That's basically the gist of what happened. Can't just post the footage with audio so we can tell. You have to talk over it and tell us what happened in the way that makes you sound like the good guy and then sound like the bad guy. Okay.
Well, yeah, so the videos that you've seen overlain during this segment from Sophie are some of the videos that Tabitha recorded. So do you want to talk us about the assault that you witnessed, Tabby?
Oh,
hopefully I'll get this. Hopefully you've got this recorded and it's one of the ones that I've got on my computer now.
The assault they witnessed. Let's see if it's an assault in the same way as Hugh Anthony's dad assaulting him.
And I'll put it over this section. But
yeah, so while we were over at the Turfman Fest, their various self-identified journalists were taking pictures of us. Fine, we expected that. The police were being moderately forceful in getting us to leave. Meanwhile, at the counter demo, the police were just, the turf photographers wander about. One of the photographers, when wearing a blue fluffy jacket with short white hair.
The thing is, to the turf photographers, like, I think Sophie Molly has a specific, like, stigma around them. And there's a reason why they're going to be seen specifically as, like, an antagonist, because they antagonize people all the time. Their whole Twitter presence, like, cry bullying and stuff. Like, going on and on and on about people like J.K. Rowling, getting responses and then crying about the harassment they receive when they get a response, when they've been the one badgering that person, like, over and over. Like, antagonism is just part of their brand. These so-called turf photographers, are any of them, like, people you know? Like, what is this collar, by the way? Can you see this collar? You can't. What is a man your age doing wearing a fucking dog collar like this with a thing? Does one of them lead you around? Do you get on all fours and one of them attaches a leash to it and leads you around?
Actually, literally wrestled one of the protest stewards down to the ground. He was trying to get photographs of the trans crowd, of the kids in the trans crowd.
Completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just trust your word on this, will we? No one got any footage? Can't verify? Just accept this extremely biased person's take?
There were a few others that were trying to do the same. Fortunately, the stewards were able to...
How would you know if someone's trying to specifically photograph kids? I mean, you shouldn't have kids at protests anyway. I extend that to both sides. I see kids at these, like, nationalist protests. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Stay on top of this, block their lines of sight, ensure they couldn't get a creepy shot.
Clear shot, yeah.
Who goes around and photographs kids? That's
very creepy.
That's
isn't it?
very, very creepy.
But why don't you, like, substantiate your assertion that they are trying to photograph kids? Why don't you explain why you've got kids at your protest in the first place?
Distinctly creepy.
Yeah, no consent from the parents.
No evidence of any press credentials.
No, didn't even ask.
No evidence of any of this happening because you're not showing any.
It was all very hostile, very intimidating.
There was one photographer who was ranting while she was being blocked that she had a very expensive camera, so she had to be allowed to take pictures.
That's not a reason.
I've got a very expensive camera.
Yeah, so this was all very intimidating and
I
threatening.
don't have a very expensive camera, but I feel like taking pictures anyway.
And yes, they're press and they're allowed to document, but they're not allowed to forcefully shove cameras in, especially into the face of children, without parental consent. That is child safeguarding.
They're not allowed to wrestle people to the ground.
No, and be...
I don't even know if that's true, technically. If you've got your kid out in public, can you, like, expect them not to get photographed, especially if you're in with a group, and that group might get photographed or captured? I'm not sure about this.
And if they're asked to step back, they should. They shouldn't continually...
Bro, so why is it not the same for you? What, 'cause they didn't have kids at their protest? So why isn't it the same for you? Why isn't it acceptable for them to ask you to step back?
Harass. I left the area and I calmly spoke with the police liaison officers and I stepped back. I was very calm. Both
Eventually, yeah.
myself and my partner were very calm the whole time.
I was filming behind us as we left because I didn't trust them to turn my back on them.
As one turf was singing, "You're a man, you're a man."
Oh God!
I think they were...
She was wearing a t-shirt claiming Scottish witchhood when no.
No, they would have persecuted.
She would have been one of the ones turning random women in.
She's from Glasgow.
I think it's about what I'm interested in with that. Jesus fucking Christ, learn your own language. This video has been deliberately, pixelized. Do you mean pixelated? And blurred, as in blurred, to protect trans people and our allies. Okay, so they'll pixelize it when it's people they like, but people they don't like, they'll just shove their faces everywhere. Okay, sure, bro. So they're saying they didn't have accreditation. I don't really know what it takes to be allowed to go around calling yourself press. And some of the women in that video were suggesting this person isn't a journalist and shouldn't have been there. And maybe they just think because they have been commissioned by a newspaper, which is terrifying to think about. Northwest Bylines. Citizen journalism. They have 2.7k followers on Facebook and 6.2k followers on X. 200 plus on Instagram. The Bylines Network. Yeah, they cited the Byline Times, but I think that's something else. So is this just basically a blog? Is that what this is? Citizen journalism in the new press. Yeah, that's very depressing because these people answer to no one. Sophie Molly is like a huge indication of why this like so-called independent media gaining traction is actually not a good thing, because they don't have to adhere to any kind of standards. At least the mainstream media do, for all its faults. These people can just say anything they fucking want. So apparently the Bylines Network, Peter Jukes, Northwest Bylines. Oh, so this website is claiming that it is part of the Bylines group. I don't actually know what you need in order to technically be able to call yourself a journalist at protests and stuff. And they're going to recognize you because you're a ridiculous human being. They did a No Kings? Like, what? Okay, this is how serious this outlet is, okay? Northwest Bylines, the one that Sophie Molly writes for, as if Sophie Molly themselves isn't a ridiculous human being in their own right, and indicative of this being a joke fucking organization. This article about No Kings, which... This is in the US. This is supposed to be a British outlet, but okay. Is by Ziltok the Martian. Like, what is this? What is this Peter Pan syndrome shit? Why are you, like, exclusively commissioning specs? I don't fucking get it. I've posted anything yet. I might have to look out and see if they post an article about that particular protest. Because if they were commissioned for an article about this protest, then we should expect to see one, right? Maybe it's too soon. Maybe we're going to see one anytime now.